We all grew up in a world that loves multitasking. Reply while you scroll, listen while you work, watch something while eating. Now, at some point, we stopped doing one thing at a time, ever. And it's not just the internet. This started decades ago, but now with the infinite notifications, apps, endless podcasts, TV, music, and 15-second video loops on repeat, it's becoming an epidemic of attention crisis. And research shows that the average person now switches tasks every 47 seconds. And there's a popular saying that our attention span is less than that of a goldfish. So that feeling that we all have, the struggle to sit still or focus, is killing our ability to learn and work on what really matters. So how do you get your attention back? Now, I was curious about this, and after putting myself to the test, here are 7 simple steps to rebuild your focus that really work for me. Now, I also challenge you to try to watch this full video in full screen at 1x speed without switching to something else. Let's start. Step 1 is to figure out what deserves your attention. So before you try any productivity hack, you need to know what's actually worth focusing on. And here's a 5-minute exercise that I learned from productivity expert Chris Bailey's book, Hyperfocus. And that is to sort your task into 4 categories. The first one is the unproductive and the unenjoyable task, like organizing your spare charging cables when you have the time. The second one is distracting task. So these are enjoyable but unproductive, like scrolling Instagram and TikTok. The third one is necessary. So these are productive but enjoyable tasks, like filling out your taxes. And the last one is the meaningful task. So these are productive and enjoyable. These are the work that actually moves your life forward. And when I did this exercise, I couldn't believe that I was spending over 80% of my time on the distracting tasks that are not really moving me forward. So I was focusing on the wrong things. And by the way, on the back of this, I created a productivity matrix that are using methods similar to Chris said in the book, which helped me to stay focused and get more done. You can also get a free copy for yourself in the link in the description or in the QR code here. And here's your goal, and what I made into mine is to spend more time in the meaningful quadrant. So if you can't figure out why a task matters to you, either find a reason that connects with your values or just stop doing it. So let me show you what this looks like for me. Now, for ages, I wanted to create a cohort-based course. I kept putting it off, so I would research course platforms, I would plan the perfect curriculum, I would overthink the whole branding, how should I name it? So my brain was avoiding the really hard things, which is to just launch my cohort course with my first group of students, which is going to be imperfect, but I end up convincing myself that I need to do easier things first to distract me. So more research, fancier webcams, maybe I need better planning. But once I realized that launching scrappily and to ship it is actually more meaningful work, and I say this because I truly felt that the impact that I was able to make, everything really changed for me. I created one landing page, I sent it to my newsletter, and ran my first cohort. Now I'm running cohort 2 and more planned this year as well. The thing to realize is that when you know what deserves your attention and why it matters, your brain finally stops resisting everything you're doing to distract yourself. And step number 2 is to find your current focus level. You can't improve what you don't really measure. And that really applies to anything in life, but especially your attention span. So here's to find where your starting point is. You want to pick a single task, maybe write in a journal with just a pen, or work on a project that you've been meaning to do for ages. And we all got those, right? So set a timer and to work on just that one thing. It's not easy to stay on one task, so you want to see how long you can focus before you have that urge to switch to something else. So track when you couldn't resist to finally check your phone, or maybe open a new tab on your browser, or your mind is starting to wander. So write that number down, how long that was. And it's okay, so don't judge yourself. That's just your current focus level. And we can work to improve it and train your focus muscle to help you sustain your focus even longer. And even though that research shows most people today switch tasks every 47 seconds when they're working, experts who practice deep work regularly can sustain focus for up to 60 to 90 minutes at a time. And some can go up to 4 hours. And that's not because they're special, it's because they train their attention like a skill. And wherever your number is today, you can get better and better at it. So I started at just about being able to read one page in a book before I get really fidgety. But now I can work up to 90 minutes in the deep work mode and then take a break to refresh my mind and move on to something else. And step number 3 is to clear the path. So what I mean by this is that your environment is working against you. And this is because we're living in an increasingly distracted world. And it's only going to get even worse. So let's win the battle by redesigning your environment for focus and finally take back that control. So you want to put your phone in another room if you can, not on your desk face down, literally physically out of reach. Well, maybe in a drawer even that you can just lock away. So in deep work, Cal Newport argues that many digital tools like social media and messaging tools are deliberately engineered to capture your attention. So you need to have really strong, sometimes physical barriers and routines to protect your ability to focus. And instead of quitting social media completely, which, let's be honest, is pretty much impossible for those of us who want to stay connected, you want to turn off all the notifications instead. And every ping, it trains your brain to expect interruptions. So for me, because I'm a parent, I set up this notification profile on my iPhone that allows only my children's teachers and my parents and my partner to call me, and the ringtone is turned on only for them. But that also allows me to fully concentrate, knowing that even if I turned off all the notifications and ringtones, I can still be reached in situations that really need me. And now when you're working on something, make sure you close your 20 browser tabs and only open what you need for the current task. And you also want to keep a notepad next to you. I love this tip that I learned and tried from Chris Bailey's Hyperfocus is when a distracting thought that pops into my head, let's say I need to get more milk, I write it down instead of acting on it. And you can write down the thought which reduce your mental load so you can stay focused and not to let it suck your energy all day thinking about it and then forgetting later, what was it that I need to do again? And all this to help you prepare to train your attention span to help you remove your obstacles. Now, step number 4 is to build your focus gradually. And remember that attention is a skill, just like public speaking, just like coding, just like anything else that you learn and have to learn. So I believe in the 100-hour rule. That is 18 minutes a day for a year equals 100 hours. That's enough to go from beginner to competent at almost anything. So I used to use this to learn public speaking. The old me was really shy, introverted in my early 20s, but I wanted to practice regularly. I would record myself speaking to my phone, later on attending workshops to get feedback, and then giving small talks to my close friends and then family and eventually bigger group of friends. And within a year, I was a confident speaker. So I also used this to learn coding. I had zero experience. I'm not technical by any means, but I spent 18 minutes a day learning coding. Within a few months, I could code my own basic websites, and now I can build apps after learning AI and vibe coding in my own time. And I think the same applies to focus. So start with 5 minutes focus blocks. Just that one task and one tap. Don't switch between different tasks because really interestingly, I was looking to research about this. It takes an average 23 minutes and 15 seconds to fully refocus after an interruption or task switching, according to this research by Gloria Mark at the University of California. And after a few days, add 5 minutes. Keep building and work up to 25 minutes, then 45, and then 90. And research shows that the brain works best in 90-minute cycles. And that can be your target if you can, but you can always build up to it gradually. So the key thing is that you're not trying to be perfect here. You're just trying to be 1% better than yesterday, and that's good enough. And you may or may not know this, but maybe you work better in the morning, in the afternoon, or nighttime. Now, most people, they fall into one of these 3 zones that I talked about. So think about how you really work and pick your focus window time. Make that the same time every day if possible. If you're a morning person, block out 8 to 11 a.m. to do your most important work. I actually block out meetings if I can to have them in the afternoons because I am a morning person. I want to save that time for when I work best. And if you're a night person, block out the evening. The consistency here is what makes it into a habit for the long term and to grow your attention span over time for when you work best. And step number 5 is to build your focus trigger. So here's something I learned from Cal Newport's deep work is that your brain responds to patterns. And when you do the same thing before your focus work every single time, your brain starts to associate that action with being in focus mode. So I used to waste 10 to 15 minutes every morning when I sat down to work. So now I have this simple routine. Close all the tabs except what I need. So if it's writing, I love using this online tool it's completely free, called zenpen.io, which is just a white blank sheet on my browser. And I put my noise cancelling headphone on, and I put on the same instrumental playlist, which you can get the link to my Spotify list down below, and turn on the timer for 90 minutes, and that's it. Now, your routine could be completely different. Maybe you want to clear your desk, or maybe grab a glass of water. Maybe you open your notebook to journal a fresh page and just write the date. Or maybe you sit at the same spot at your kitchen table every single day. Whatever that is, the specific action doesn't really matter. What matters is that it's the same every time and it's personal to you. So you're training your brain to recognize, when I do this, it's time to get in the zone and just focus. So after a few weeks, you won't have to force yourself to focus anymore. And that's what I found anyway, is that you'll do your routine and your brain would just shift automatically. So for me, this helped me to prepare for that every morning when I sit down to work and knowing that I have exactly what I need to get things done. So this type of focus routine, it really helped to remove that decision fatigue so you can save your mental energy for the actual work when it happens. And step number 6 is to build in recovery periods. So this is the thing that so many people overlook that can really kill their energy and attention span. Make sure you are scheduling your rest into your day because rest is productive. And for the majority of people, after 90 minutes, that brain's performance just drops. Instead of pushing through, I like to take a 15-minute break. So I take a walk outside with no phone, taking some fresh air, and sometimes this brings that new idea and inspiration into my work. And I love this part in the book Deep Work where Cal Newport explains that breaks aren't deviation from your peak performance. They're actually part of your performance. And all the high performers, they practice this daily. Pro tip is that I also love trying this out by doing a shutdown ritual. Also learning this from Cal Newport. And this can be something like you're checking your email one last time. Maybe you're updating your to-do list with what you finished the day with. Maybe you can say, all done, out loud. But what it does is that this tells your brain that the work is over and you can actually relax, now enjoy the rest of your day. As I mentioned, it takes an average of 23 minutes to refocus after just one interruption. So remember to protect your focus blocks like you mean it. And when you're done, just close that loop completely. And step number 7 is to track progress and connect your work to meaning. So here's what I really learned after trying all these steps, is that it's not just about building the skill of focus, but it's also about understanding why you're doing the work in the first place. So all these steps, they led me to this realization is that there's a difference between being pushed towards work and then being pulled by meaning. And that's the main reason why some of us can sustain focus for the long term, and then some of us just give up after a couple of weeks. So this is the push and pull framework. So when you're pushed, you need constant discipline and willpower to keep going. But when you're pulled towards something, that work itself draws you in. And this happened to me multiple times in my own lifetime. It's only clear now that when I'm reflecting back on it, is when I was 4 years old. My parents, they made me learn piano. I had no connection to piano at all, no reason why it mattered to me. So easily I quit after a year when my brother was born. And then years later, I discovered the music by Ludovico Einaudi. His piano music was just beautiful, and I fell in love with it. And then suddenly I wanted to play piano, not because anyone was pushing me, but because the music itself, it pulled me in. I played every day because it meant something to me. And here's what I want you to do. Before any hard task, ask yourself, why does this matter? Write it down and keep it visible so you can see it every single day. And then track your progress towards it. Not to judge yourself on where you are, but to watch yourself improve every single day. And when I started, my baseline was just 10 minutes of focus, and now it's up to 90. That progress didn't just rebuild my focus, but it also rewired my identity to myself from I can't focus to I can train my focus, just one task at a time. Remember that your attention span isn't broken, and you can do something about it now. So here's a quick recap to help you is that 1, you want to figure out what deserves your attention first. And then 2 is to find your current focus level. Where is it at? And then 3 is to clear the path for you to do your best work. And then 4 is to build that gradually using the 100-hour rule. And then 5 is to use repeatable systems and routines. And then 6 is to building your rest and recovery to come back stronger every single day. And lastly, step 7 is to track your progress and connect to your work on why it means so much to you. And get started on this in your next tasks. The sooner you get your attention back, the sooner you get to reclaim your life to do what matters. If you like this video and you feel that you struggle with balancing with what you're doing with a full-time job, I've definitely been there. Check out how I managed the full-time job schedule while also building towards some of my biggest goals in life in this video here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.